All right, welcome into the Fantasy Six Pack 2023 Fantasy Baseball Team Previews. I am Jason. You can find me on Twitter at JRBex. I'm joined by JP, and you can find him on Twitter at DapScout. First of all, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel down below. You're going to get great fantasy content all year long. And if you're looking to get access to award-winning advice and rankings and more, got that available at Fantasy Six Pack. You can sign up to be a member today. You can go to fantasysixpack.net/plans. And if you use promo code F6PMLB, you'll get 50% off all of our available options. And if you're looking for more customizable settings for your fantasy baseball league, then you need to try out Fantrax. You can create an account today at fantrax.com/fantasy6pack. And the customizations there is great. The player pool is super deep. I know I have almost all my leagues moved over to Fantrax, and you should be doing the same thing. Let's go ahead and jump into today. We're going to be doing the 2023 Fantasy Baseball Team Preview of the San Francisco Giants. Go ahead and start with the starting lineup here. Leading off, we got Thairo Estrada. Second, Mike Yastrzemski, followed by Mitch Haniger. Batting fourth is Joc Pederson. Fifth, Michael Conforto. Sixth, Wilmer Flores. Seventh, Brandon Crawford. Eighth, Lamonte Wade Jr. And rounding that all out, hitting ninth is Joey Bart. Looking up and down this lineup, there's a few interesting pieces here. The 3-4 hitters right now, we've got Mitch Haniger and Joc Pederson. Tons of power. Joc Pederson last year had a resurgence in the power department. However, they do like to platoon him. But he had 23 home runs, a lot of that coming in the first half. That second half kind of fell off. And then obviously Mitch Haniger just coming out right now and newly acquired. You can always count on about 30-plus home runs from Mitch Haniger. And then the fifth hitter, even Michael Conforto, missed all of last year with injury, comes over from New York, signs with the Giants. He's an interesting piece as well. When you look up and down this lineup, who do you think, who interests you and who are you targeting?
I was laughing there for a second because it looks like the exact same lineup for the last 10 years for the Giants. Somehow, even though the pieces have changed, it seems like the same people. This is boring in a good way because you know what you're going to get from the Giants. It's super consistent, and it always seems to be they grab a veteran and they figure it out. Mitch Haniger, I say this jokingly, but I'm almost serious about it. The Giants are going to figure out that Mitch Haniger probably was wearing the wrong size sneaker this entire time. And they're going to change it, and it's going to find out that that's why he's been so injury prone. The Giants just figure out those things. So I would definitely be looking at Mitch Haniger because you know what you're going to get if he could stay healthy. And again, because of where he's going, you even when he doesn't stay healthy, he puts up some fantastic numbers. And in San Francisco, I'm dying to see what he could do there. So Mitch Haniger is somebody I'm definitely going after. Joc Pederson. But the one name that's not on this list, and the guy who, right now I think they just came out and said that he's, the starting third baseman is, David Villar, because the numbers that he put up in the Pacific Coast League, I know, it's a hitter's park, and it's crazy, but because also third base drops off quick, that's somebody I definitely would be looking at. David Villar, was the Pacific Coast League MVP with the Sacramento River Cats, and he just looks like somebody who's just ready to go, especially when you immediately thought, they got Carlos Correa, at least you thought they did, and he was going to be moving, back. But now suddenly, with Correa gone and all these other pieces, I really looking at Villar as somebody I want to go after.
Yeah, I think you just nailed it on the head. The Carlos Correa, he punked everybody, including the Giants.
Right.
Right now, David Villar's got an ADP 437, so definitely super
Yes.
nice late round flyer for that third base role.
No one changed that. No one draft him. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, let's hope he stays around that 400 range. So you can just sneakily grab him at the end of your drafts.
Right.
One thing that has me, a little bit intrigued too is, like I said, the Conforto, right? Which Conforto are we going to get? He's hurt all last year. How does he rebound? Can he put up those numbers that we did see put up with the Mets? He's a little bit intriguing. I'd probably stay away with him just from him coming off that injury. He's just not somebody that I would want to be, looking to grab just because of those injury concerns. And like you said, this lineup is is boring, right? It's just, that's the Giants'
Right.
MO. They don't put up
Yep.
these flashy names, these big, flashy guys. Obviously, it's just boring, and it gets the job done. They'll probably still win 90+ games and contend for that West title. So
The one thing that just one more thing with Joey Bart,
yeah,
everybody has prospect fatigue about this guy. Was he was the next everything, right? They talked everything that he was going to take over. He's going to be Posey basically, and he hasn't been that. And this year he needs to really prove that. I just don't see how they keep him as a starting catcher. I mean, yes, fine, defense can stay back there, and that's what you want from a catcher. But he was supposed to have this amazing bat, and he has not put up those numbers. If you're in a two catcher league, I'm picking Joey Bat as maybe my last catcher just because I want to see if I just call him Joey Bats. I hope he is Joey Bats this year. Joey Bart, to see if he has great staff there at San Francisco. If there's something there, they're going to help him unlock it, and I really hope to see that improvement there. And I'll be betting on that late in the draft.
yeah, good call out. Now let's go and jump over to the starting rotation now. We got Logan Webb, followed by Alex Cobb, 3, Sean Manaea, 4th, Ross Stripling, and then the 5th starter right now is Alex Wood. Right now, with the departure of Carlos Rodon, Logan Webb gets to jump right back in and fill that ace role, which we saw him do so well in 2021. All these guys similar to the starting lineup is just boring, but gets the job done, right? I think even someone to me like Alex Wood, we saw a lot of good times with the Dodgers. He's just one of those boring pitchers, but gets you good ratios, especially as SP5. Almost all of those guys, right? 3, 4, 5 are just solid, boring, but also great guys to target late in your drafts.
Right.
Put up some good numbers. What do you think when you look at the starting rotation?
I want any part of this. I want shares of this so badly. The pitching coaches are fantastic there. They've shown a track record of grabbing other players and tinkering with them, doing whatever they can. Yeah, I want part of this so badly that some of my last picks of drafts has been Anthony Descalfani, just because he's showing us kind of that swingman, that guy who's going to be the next man up if somebody gets hurt in the starting rotation. Um, you know, Logan Webb, stud, Alex Cobb. I love almost every part of the starting rotation, and if you can get part of it within reason of the price, obviously, you're gonna just be one of those set and forget as long as they stay healthy. And I think that's the only key here, right? Is health. Because we have Sean Manaea, who has shown health issues in the past and things like that, but you can't do much better than Logan Webb there at the top.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons, with them being so boring, I think it might help us fantasy players because they're going to slide in drafts because nobody's reaching for Ross Stripling or Alex Wood,
Right.
and you can just get them late in rounds. So I think that helps us fantasy players of them being so boring and just not flashy pitchers that get big power pitchers.
Yeah, but you know what you're going to get, right? You just set that Giants player in there, and you're like, okay, good, I'm good. Within reason, of course. There's always that one matchup, but other than that, I'll set and forget.
Yeah. I'm just going to jump over to the bullpen here. We got the closer, Camilo Doval, setup men, Taylor Rogers, and John Brebbia. Mid guys, Tyler Rogers, Scott Alexander, Jacob Junis, Sam Long, and then we previously spoke about the Anthony Descalfani, the long reliever, most likely going to fill in some of those guys in the rotation. But right now, when we look at this closer, the Camilo Doval, I think this guy, he's one of those guys that most people or most fantasy players might forget about when it comes to closers. But I want every part of Camilo Doval. Right now, he's got an ADP outside the top 150. Because especially if you want to maybe miss out on some of those top tier closers that are getting drafted in the top 5-6 rounds. I would be targeting Camilo Doval, especially at his ADP of 175. And then even lesser so Taylor Rogers, right? If for whatever reason, if Doval were to miss time, Rogers is going to slide right in there and take over that closer role as well. And even in holds leagues, Taylor Rogers has proven that he's a high leverage guy. I know you spoke a little bit about Descalfani, but what else do you think about this bullpen here?
Well, the one thing that I love about the Giants, in the past, they've split some of the saves, but they've given a majority to one person. So knowing that, I'm definitely would be picking Doval and know that he's going to be kind of the saves leader here unless something changes dramatically this season as opposed to the last two. And the other part I love about this too is that, again, from a holds perspective, Taylor Rogers is right there as, kind of the 1A if need be. So it's a very clean cut bullpen. It's going to be Doval, Rogers, and then, look, the rest of the team is by no means not incredible. In fact, I would love to see a Taylor Tyler, kind of dance off. I think it needs to happen. But beyond that, I think you're going to have a very solid, boring time here. Pick Doval. In fact, I picked Doval over Hader just because I know what I'm going to get. Right? I know that
I
I'm
like
going to
that.
get somebody who has a role, hasn't shown hiccups last season, and I can wait. I could pick up some other places. I could go to those shallow, third base, first base, and other areas and really be there. So that's my hot take for the day.
No, I like that. I'd actually agree with that. I think the ball even has those strikeout capabilities that you want from your closer. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, the Rogers brothers are now, still in the same bullpen again. So that's always a fun little tidbit. What's
I think
better
it's
than pitching with your brother?
I think it's in their contract. I think they have to always be in the same bullpen. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up the 2023 fantasy baseball team preview of the San Francisco Giants. Like I said, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel for great content, including more team previews. I'll see you next time.